Welcome to another episode of the Orange Nerd Show here on OG 55. I have a very special guest with me today, Addison, content creator, does amazing work. We're going to break down Blackpink, the secret to their success, some of the controversies surrounding the band, all that good stuff up next on the Orange Nerd Show. Welcome aboard, everybody, to another episode of the Orange Nerd Show. I am joined today, first time on the channel, Addison, a content creator I came across pretty recently, a few weeks ago. Absolutely fell in love with the content they do over there. Addison, I want to welcome you to OG 55.
Appreciate it, man. Thank you for the welcome. And I must say, man, that intro to the show was pretty epic, man. It's pretty dope.
Nice.
Pretty dope.
Thank you. Fiverr.com. I love.
Okay.
Yeah, they do some pretty cool stuff. But yeah, thank you so much for coming on. If you could let everybody at home know what you do on YouTube, your channel, where they can find you, all that good stuff.
For sure. Thank you. Yeah. So my name's Addison. I'm a part of a YouTube channel called the Everyday Negros, a channel where we kind of do reactions, reviews, just kind of like different things and kind of take you guys on a journey of things that we do under an everyday basis. So that is a little bit about me, but hey, I don't want to take away from the show. We're on Orange Grove today, man. It's about the Orange Grove show today.
Well, welcome, Addison. We really do appreciate you coming on today. So let's dive into some of the topics today. I want to start off really though with your YouTube channel. And like I said at the top of the show, I really fell in love with what you guys do over there, like your reactions and what have you. You guys are really funny, really passionate. How did you guys get into that? Like, how'd you get into YouTube and like what kind of sparked that whole, like, the inspiration to get involved?
For sure. So this is where the story is going to take. It's going to be like a happy and kind of like a sad turn. The channel was actually started with a group of three guys. One of the guys, his name was Andre. He actually recently just passed away at the beginning of this year in a car wreck, unfortunately. So the channel was started by a group of three friends who we would kind of joke around, give commentary on some of the things that we were seeing every day. And then we also did a lot of video stuff, things that we kind of had to take a lot more serious. There wasn't much joking, corporate videos, wedding videos, sports content. So we needed something to kind of take a break from some of the serious content and not kind of overthink what we were putting out. So that's kind of like how the channel came about. And since then, never looked back, man. Been having a lot of fun. So there'll be conversations that we will be having whether the camera was rolling or not. So it's like, hey, let's see if other people are into it and having fun. And hey, that's how it started.
That's awesome, man. That's awesome. And really, and we'll dip into it a little bit when we start talking about Blackpink, but like, so you guys are very close, like off camera as well.
Yep. Very close. So, specifically, we all met in college. So that's where our friendship came about.
Yeah, because I think that's like in my opinion, that's like really important. Like with like content creation is like that vibe that you have like with the people that join you, right? Like it's kind of the same thing here on the channel. Like a lot of the guys I do my shows with and everything. Like we're always on the phone. Like we have a really close relationship off camera, and I think that spills into like the on camera stuff. So
for sure. Yeah, and it's not like after the record stops, everybody goes on separate ways. We probably still kick it here, make some food, cut up, hang out, make fun of each other, go play sports or something like that. So yeah, there's definitely a connection when the camera is off and on for sure.
Awesome. Well, everybody check him out. I'll be linking his YouTube channel, all his socials down in the show notes, in the description down below. Phenomenal content they do over there. Make sure you subscribe, show them all the love. So Addison, let's talk about Blackpink, man. Like this is crazy. Okay, so how did you? Because you guys have done quite a few reactions on their music videos and what have you. Hit you with the doo, all that good stuff. How did you come about this group? Like, how did you? Because I feel like K-pop is kind of like deep cut stuff for a lot of folks, right? How did you come across it?
For sure. So twofold. One, we actually started watching a lot of K-dramas, a lot of K-drama series. And on some of these series, you know, when the credits hit or when certain scenes hit, some music could come and be like, hold on, you know, that's kind of fire, man. What is that beat playing in the background? Or who is that artist in the background of whatever show we were, series we were watching? So that prompted us to kind of be open to seeing, all right, what are the music is there outside of just the general music that, like, while we're here in America gets pushed to us, right? And then the other one was, we have a friend who also does YouTube content, and he would wear like Blackpink merch, and he's a guy as well. And I'm kind of like, you know, is this just I thought it was just a brand or something. I didn't even know it was a girl group. And then he was like, yo, you should check them out. They're fire. And he's like, it's a girl group. And I was like, sure, bro. You know, yeah, I'll get to it. But then after, you know, those two things kind of connecting and kind of pushing me to go ahead and check it out, that's when we're able to go ahead and kind of dive in. And man, kind of wish we would have started a little bit sooner.
You know, I'm the same way. I kind of wish I started a little sooner. It was interesting because you know, we do a lot of theme park content here, and a good friend of mine, he has a YouTube channel. His name is Theme Park Wizard, and he's on the channel all the time. So I was like, okay, yeah, he's always liked Blackpink. He's always had like a thing for like rosé. So I was like trying to make like a little bit of like an intro, sort of like what you saw at the beginning of the show, but just for him, like when he comes on, just to kind of like introduce him, you know, in like kind of like an epic way.
Yeah.
So I'm like, all right, you know what? I'm gonna try to like kind of weave in some rosé in there, because that's like his brand, right? He loves rosé. So I'll kind of weave that in. So in the process of like trying to find like clips and all that for his intro, I was like, I'm going through these music videos and I'm like, this is like you said, this is fire. This is, the beats are like insane. You know, they switch it up like out of nowhere. It'll go like one way for a minute, and then all of a sudden it goes in the right. It's just crazy.
For sure.
And I'm like, okay, this is not what I expected. And this is really fantastic stuff. And I was a fan really ever since that. I just started like, okay, I'll check out this video, that video, and kind of went down that rabbit hole, you know?
No, for sure. And it's funny that when you started talking about Blackpink, you mentioned do, and you know, by the end of this episode, I'm hoping somebody can define to me what hit you with that do. Maybe Orange, maybe you're the one who's gonna be able to tell me what that means.
I have a theory. I don't know the I don't know the official, you know, I don't know what's officially like Blackpink canon, or, you know, but I have a theory. I think it's like gunshots, because like they do the whole like, you know, thing with their fingers. I'm thinking like do, you know. So that's my theory, but man, I don't know either, man. And they turned that thing into the music video for that song has 2 billion
That's
views.
crazy. That is crazy. Not surprising though, but it's crazy. Right?
It's crazy. It's crazy. Now you guys did a great. I love your reaction to that song, man. When I got to bring this up. Hold on one sec. This is funny. You had me on the floor. I work from home, right?
Yeah.
I work from home. It's an office job, but they have us doing like remote stuff, right? So I'm on hold and I'm watching your guys' reaction to the do song, and this part comes up right here, right, with Lisa like chilling in these boots. And you said, you said she's sagging without sagging.
That is the first thing that came to mind, man. The first thing that came to mind, because it was like they're baggy around the knees, and normally when you watch young guys, you know, with the pants to the knees, they're baggy right there, but I see thigh, in which case it would be a little bit alarming if I was seeing a brother sagging with some thigh meat. So it was kind of like a good in between. I guess it's an appropriate sag, if that's even a thing.
Right? Yeah, that's exactly what it was, man. And I won't spit my coffee out. I was cracking up. You had me on the floor with that, because that's exactly what it is. But like with this song in particular, this is like one of the first songs that I dipped into, right? And I've always been a hip hop fan. I'm a little older. I'm in my early 40s. So a lot of the hip hop that I was like kind of into as a kid were like a lot of 90s stuff, like Nas, Jay-Z, and like Wu-Tang, you know, things like that. And I've always been into that. Even some R&B, you know, some Key Sweat and all that stuff, right? That was kind of my genre for a while. And going to this K-pop thing, I'm like, oh, you know, it's just going to be like, you know, it's going to be like Korean Taylor Swift or something.
Yeah.
And then I'm watching this, and Lisa comes in hard, like hard. And I'm like, wait a minute.
For sure. For
Right?
sure.
It kind of took me aback a little bit. Like, were you kind of like when you started to dip into their music, were you a little
Yeah,
surprised at like some of that as well?
for sure. And that's why, like, again, you hear girl group, you know, I'm thinking kind of along the same lines. And Taylor Swift has some fire music, I'm not gonna lie.
Oh
But
yeah, for sure.
you hear you know, love story stuff, slow music. I feel like honestly, with girl groups, from my experience, it's either too slow or it's either like too sketch. You know what I'm saying? I feel
Right.
like there's not really a good in between of one that can kind of like catch my attention. So that's why when I first heard, you know, Lisa, Jenny, and I'm, you know, I'm forgetting the rest of the members of the name. I think is it Rose and
Jisoo.
Jisoo? Jisoo, there it is. I was like, what am I listening to right now? What is this? This is not like how you said, I'm expecting like a slow Taylor Swift song or whatever. It's not that. So for sure, I think all my preconceived notions of it were thrown out the window, and it actually made me excited to hear more stuff.
Nice, nice, nice. So like aside from this, like what kind of music were you into going into this? What's always been kind of your genre? You kind of just kind of into everything or?
That's a good question. So I actually don't listen to a lot, and it was as I was listening to you mention Nas and Jay-Z and you know, a few other people. I actually don't listen to too much mainstream. A lot of the music that I actually listen to is in the CHH space. So I do listen to hip hop, but it's guys like Lecrae, Jay Monty, KB. I'm not sure if anybody's familiar with them. And if I'm familiar with some of the more popular artists, but they're not necessarily in my normal rotation just because although like the beats and lyrics are catchy, it's just like, man, I can only hear, you know, shoot up somebody, take their baby mama, kill their granny like so many times before it's like, all right, I need something else in my mind. Catchy nonetheless, but yeah, so those are some, just to name a few of the guys that I listen to.
Nice, 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 nice. And so you started listening. So then you kind of got into the Blackpink thing, and then that kind of you said that got you into like some more other K-pop, right? Like you started
Yeah,
like what other
other
K-pop?
K-pop.
See, I haven't gone. I'm not that far in my journey yet. I'm kind of still new.
Yeah,
I'm still kind of I'm still in the Blackpink pool right now.
yeah,
I'm
yeah,
trying
yeah.
to dip into like the BTS and all that. But are they all this fire, or is it just like
So first song I ever heard, which people were tearing me up because I pronounced his name Yemen. I think like the country, state, and I think it's Jimin. But I listened. The first K-pop song I listened to was Jimin. I think it was "Set Me Free" Part 2,
okay?
and that song went crazy. It went from the dance to the music to, like you said, how the music never stays the same. It ramps
Yeah.
up. It has nice bridges, dope choruses, and I was like, you know, look to my right, like, are y'all hearing what we should have been hearing a long time ago? So I would say Jimin from BTS. I've checked out a few BTS songs, and then I think it was August D, who has more like of the rap style.
Hmm.
I've checked him out, so I don't know if that's necessarily considered K-pop. And then the latest group that I've checked out while going through the K-pop realm is XG. Are you familiar with them?
Yes, actually, I did come across. Don't they have a new song, "Girl Gang"? If I'm not
Yes.
mistaken.
Yeah. They do. They do.
That's a pretty good one, actually. I came across that one in my suggested because I've been watching Blackpink videos. I suggested that
Mhm.
one to me, and I'm like, oh, check this one out. That one's pretty good, actually.
Yeah. So is Girl Gang the only one from them that you've heard of? Have
That's
you
the
heard a
only one
few
that I
others?
heard so far. Yeah.
Okay. You're in for a treat. They got some bangers, man. They got some bangers for sure.
Nice, nice. Okay. So I'll check them out for sure. I'm. It's interesting too because it's like you were so used to, like we're so used to like American music and the way
For
it's
sure.
done. And then when you go into this K-pop thing, it's kind of like they just flip it, and it's like just
Hmm.
all different now. It's like wow, it's like a whole new thing, right?
Hmm.
It's just it's incredible. But like in terms of like Blackpink and like how they're in this space, obviously they're like one of the biggest. I mean, if not the biggest, with like
Yeah.
BTS. Like in your opinion, Addison, like what do you think is the secret to that success? Like why this group, right? Because I mean, look, if you look around, like K-pop, a lot of these girl groups, most of them are all really good looking. They all can sing,
Hmm.
they all can dance. Like why Blackpink though? Like what's that spark about them that you think is elevating them more than a lot of these other groups?
So great question, and I will start off by saying I am in no way, shape, form, or fashion, authorized to answer this at any of the highest levels. But I'll give it my best shot. First of all, like name Blackpink. It's like contrasting like colors on the opposite spectrum, and it's like a girly color, and I guess you could kind of say like a guy color, like just kind of
Right.
clash. So I feel like it's the best of both worlds. It's a dope name, something quick, and then too, like I hate to say this because a lot of times people make this statement and like write off a person's talent, but when you have lead singers, dancers, vocalists, whatever you want to call them, who also are attractive. You know what I'm saying? That doesn't hurt. You know what I'm saying? It doesn't hurt. It doesn't hurt at
Yeah.
all. You know, it might help a little bit. May make a
Right.
few posters or, calendars or whatever, stickers sell, maybe a few hundred, maybe a few 100,000.
You know.
And then also I will say the way they bridge two different languages in their music, and then it's
Yeah.
like I may not necessarily understand everything you said, but because a little bit of the English context, I get where you're going. I feel the vibe. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
I feel where it's going. So I feel like those are a few different things that kind of make them successful. And not just kind of staying a lot of times, because not too many times do you hear American artists, unless they get a feature, try to incorporate different languages in their music. So
Right.
that's pretty dope.
Yeah, no, it is. It is. Yeah, I think they're interesting because I think the friendship they have, you can tell like when you see them interviewed or how they interact, right? Like backstage, these girls are like family to each other. They have like that sisterhood, and I think that I think that bleeds into like the off camera. I think bleeds into the on camera, the on stage stuff. So I think that's a big element of their success is that how close they are, which is really, really like really, I don't want to say surprising, but really like kind of lightning in a bottle, because from what I understand with these K-pop groups, they go to like these like boarding schools where they train for years, and then they get put into like a group, right? And then they go out into the world. And it's like, so I mean, by luck, these four girls were put together and they just happened to all click like that. That's crazy. But I think that's a huge element of their success. And I think that they're also, I think that with Blackpink too, is I think they're not afraid to sort of break out of that K-pop sort of bubble, right? Like they're not afraid to appeal to more Western audiences and what have you. And I think that's been a big, element for them that's really kind of elevated them to through the stratosphere,
Yeah, that's pretty dope. And actually going into what you said about their chemistry outside of music and music videos, I hadn't seen much of the behind the scenes content, but hearing you talk about that makes me actually want to tap into that a little bit more.
Yeah. No, it was surprising to me when I started to kind of dive into that, how close they were. And I'm like, okay, it was all kind of clicking then. Okay, well, I can see why now the chemistry on stage is like freaking through the roof, because these girls are like so tight off stage. And it's like kind of like I was talking like with you and the guys and stuff on your channel, that off screen definitely, goes into the on screen. And I think that's a huge element to their success. Also, I think that like when it comes to like Western audiences and stuff with them, they have very like westernized names sort of. So like American audiences can easily consumable, right? It's like Rose, Jenny, Lisa, it's not.
Yeah.
So I think it makes it easier for American audiences to sort of like connect to that, I think. And it seems to be working. So
Makes sense. Now that was interesting. The story you told me about the super group incubator that a lot of K-pop artists go through. That's pretty crazy.
Yeah, man. They go through like this boarding. They go through like this boarding school for like years. Like from what I understand, a lot of the girls from like Blackpink spent like 4, 5, 6 years in this like boarding school thing. Yeah. Then they get paired together in a group and they go out into the world and they make albums and do this whole thing. It's like, so it's not really like 100% like an organic thing. Like, oh, these girls like decided like they're going to like, in their garage, just start this band. Right. And see what happens. It's a very kind of like, kind of a manufactured thing. And that's why I was so surprised by, being so manufactured, how organic their relationship and everything around them is. Of like, it's almost like a miracle. It's like,
Yeah,
wow, that's kind of wild, because usually when you have such manufactured product like that, it kind of shows, right? Like it you can kind of tell it's a very corporate thing. And with them, it
for
doesn't
sure,
really feel like that,
for sure. I think
So,
the way you just described it, it sound like Blackpink. It sound like that'd be a dope episode of like a Black Mirror episode or something. A
right,
manufactured group that everybody likes. That'd be pretty sweet.
right. Now, you watch Black Mirror?
Yeah, yeah. I'm actually just I have one episode left to go for the latest season. But yep, I do tap into Black Mirror. Definitely
Nice.
some mind boggling, joggling, bending, horrifying stuff.
What? Okay, I haven't seen it yet. Like, where is it on Netflix or?
Yeah, Netflix. Netflix has it. Yep.
Okay, okay.
So think
I'm
of kind
gonna
of
check.
like Twilight Zone, more modern times, like 10, maybe.
Okay, all right, that's cool, man. That's really cool. I'm gonna check it out. So I want to kind of pivot now because
Yep.
and this I don't know if like you're familiar with it. This has been I don't know if you have Twitter, but Twitter is like it's crazy over there on Twitter. But like since I started to dive into Blackpink a little bit, like I've been seeing stuff on Twitter, and it's been pretty wild. So Jenny, one of the gals in the group,
Hmm.
I guess she's one of the main characters in this show called The Idol. It's
Okay.
on HBO Max, or I think they call it the Max now. And she plays a dancer in that show. So I'm not gonna play it because they'll
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
block the video. But she's doing some moves in this show, right? Like for real, like this is pretty crazy stuff. Okay.
She's doing some moves, or is she getting some moves done to her? Which one? Which one?
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
Interesting position there, Sister Jenny.
Right, exactly, right. So this is crazy because she's getting a lot of heat, like amongst like the fan
Yeah, yeah.
community, like the K-pop world and what have you, right? And it's like a lot of heat, man. Like I couldn't believe the stuff I was seeing on Twitter about her, like crazy stuff going on. And I felt kind of bad for her, to be honest. I'm like, oh
Yeah.
man, but like I don't know. Like, what do you think about that? Like, do you think that like, okay, so she's a member of Blackpink, and I
Hmm.
know Blackpink. I think they have they have a young fan base as well. I think a lot of younger people do enjoy their music. The argument being made is like, she should probably not do this on this show because her demo maybe for Blackpink's a little younger. And
Yeah.
where do you stand with this? I mean, do you think that it's okay, not okay? It's kind of
That's a good question. That's a good question from multiple different levels. Actually, going back to previously in our conversation, I told you I listened to primarily like a lot of CHS, which is Christian hip hop. Um, and what you'll notice is, which is very interesting from her perspective, because one would say that they made it, right? You know what I'm saying? You don't get much bigger than Blackpink has gotten on a global scale, local, whatever you want to call it. Like they've made it. But on the CHH scale, when artists feel like they've hit that wall, sometimes what you'll see them do is go ahead and drop that CHS title, and now they're just a rapper or artist, and they'll venture off because it kind of elevates their ceiling. So from that standpoint, you almost can see why they chose to, whether you agree with that route or not. And then from this perspective, the only thing I can think of is because, like you just mentioned a second ago, 2 billion views on a music video. That's insane. Unless she's just really trying to crack into the acting space. You know what I'm saying? Which maybe, I don't know. I mean, you hear a lot of crazy stories about things people have to do in order to get roles, to get the roles that they want, the stepping stones. But on her side of things, one of the reasons why I liked Blackpink in general from the first few songs I heard, which I'll be curious to hear what you think as well, is even in the music video, the lyrics, it wasn't like extremely over sexualized. You know what I
yeah.
mean? So it was, now again, your interpretation of do or things of that nature. There's
Right.
some stuff that can be left to the imagination, whereas some artists, they just tell you exactly what they're gonna do to you, how they're gonna do it to you. And they even will show you a screenshot like the one that we're seeing right here on the screen. So that's just a few of my thoughts in regards to that. But yeah, I'm curious to actually see what some of the feedback is. But I do see how if you have a younger audience base with a mass following and you do a dramatic switch like this, how it could disappoint some people. without any forewarning. So
yeah, it's interesting. I kind of feel like, okay, from her perspective, if I'm like going to step into like Jenny's shoes for a second, like I kind of feel like, because pop groups, no matter how popular they are, eventually they go away. Like eventually they fizzle out, right? Like nothing's really permanent. Like NSYNC was like the hottest thing for a while. Now they're gone, right? Spice Girls gone, right? Eventually even the hottest groups fade. And I think that maybe from Jenny's perspective, she's thinking like, yeah, you know, Blackpink's on top of the world right now, but what's going to happen in 5 years? What's going to happen in 10 years, right? So you mentioned like she might want to tap into Hollywood. I kind of think that's where she's going with that. I kind of feel like she's like, okay, I'm going to kind of get my foot in the door with various acting roles and what have you. So when the Blackpink thing is no longer like the hottest thing in town, I've kind of established, you know, that acting, you know, career. I kind of think that's where she's going with it. You know, she's a grown, I think she's like almost 30 from what I understand. I think she's like 28, Jenny. So I have no issue with it. I mean, she's a grown woman. She can do what she wants. I can see though, where there would be an issue like with, okay, this is somebody that is, you know, young people look up to, and then they see that like on like social media as they scroll through or something, right? They can kind of, I can totally like understand where that would, you know, kind of be like an issue. But yeah, I think it's a totally like a career move. I think she's trying to branch out, because I do think eventually, you know, there will be like this like kind of post Blackpink world for these girls, and they're trying to figure out what they want to do after. And that might be it. Maybe she wants to do that. I actually heard that Marvel actually reached out to her to be a
now that I'll tap into. You know what I'm saying? Now that right there, I'm tapping into. I'll be curious to see what a superhero or super villain she'll be.
That would be really, really cool. There was a lot of rumors. We cover a lot of Marvel here on the channel and stuff.
Okay.
And I've seen a lot of rumors about how there's, I guess in the comics, there's a superhero, Korean superhero. She's like a K-pop star, Luna Snow. And I guess like Kevin Feige was like looking to like they're trying to find the actress for this role. It's for like a TV show. And I guess they approached Jenny and the YG Entertainment, who like, you know, that's like their record label with Blackpink, is like, they're sort of like denying it, or they're, you know, it's all this like smoke and mirror stuff. But there's probably something to it though. I mean, there's probably something to it. Yeah, it'd be kind of cool, you know.
That'd be extremely cool. Yeah, our resident know-it-all Marvel guy was Andre, unfortunately. So I could actually see him, like if he was here, he'd probably be jumping in the seat. Oh, she's gonna be Luna Snow, and I'll be like, who is that? But sounds dope.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it'd be kind of cool. But I mean, it's interesting how the firestorm like on social media regarding her role with that show. And I haven't seen the show yet.
I was about to ask you that next, if you've had the opportunity to catch the show.
Yeah, no, I didn't see it. I just I knew of the controversy. I've seen all that, the drama and stuff, but I haven't really watched it.
Is it on your radar of things to watch?
You know, I haven't been hearing too many good things about it, so probably gonna skip it. Okay. Have you heard of it prior? Like, have you heard of it before? Prior to
yes. So, there's another person who comes on the channel. Her name's Kariana. She kind of plugged my ears like, "Hey, Jenny is in this. We should probably check it out." But I've been hearing some things about it. So that "but" that she kind of put in there is one of the reasons why we also have not decided to go ahead and flip the trigger. But I don't know. I'll be curious to see what people in the comments say, whether they think that me and you should check it out.
Yeah. So she said, but I heard some things. I'm telling you, it's all over social media, and not just with Jenny, but like a lot of the whole show in general. I get The Weeknd's in it, and I think Johnny Depp's daughter, from what I understand, Lily Rose Depp. I think she's
interesting.
Yeah, and she's in there. Yeah, man, a lot of controversy around that, but that's funny. But yeah, it'd be interesting if you guys do cover that. I'd be curious to see what you guys think about it. I think it's like a mini series, so I think it's only like 5 or 6 episodes, if I'm not mistaken. Not very many.
Okay.
Not very many.
I'm just afraid that if there's too many scenes kind of like that you just showed on the screen, you might only get like a 5-minute reaction, because we have to skip through so much stuff.
I know, right? Exactly. It's wild, man. It's wild. Now I want to ask you, in terms of like Blackpink, like what's your favorite right now, at least. I don't know if because I haven't even gone through all the songs or whatever either.
Mm-hmm.
But like in terms of right now, like what's your favorite song that they dropped? Like what's that one song that you're like that's my bias. That's the one. That's my go-to.
It's funny because I've only recently been hearing like that's my bias. And I was like, what does that mean? And then like pretty much like this month, I was like, okay, all right, I get it. But the thing about them that is so unique because I seldom listen to the music without watching the music video up until this point. Now that may change because all of the songs I've listened to, I've actually listened to for the first time, you know, on YouTube. So I can check it out with the audience member. But Shut Down, that one was pretty dope. And
Yeah.
to hit you with that do like those are pretty dope. And also, what was it? Pink Venom. And then, but out of that one, I'm gonna probably have to say, I might have to say, you know, you did the symbol already. You did the gun symbol. I might have to go with the do. You know, hit you.
Yeah. I think that's my favorite as well. I like that. I like that one. I like Shutdown's fantastic. I think the little like 90s rap flow that Jenny and Lisa have in was it Pink Venom?
Yeah.
I'm really digging that. Lisa's solo stuff. I don't know if you've dipped into her solo stuff, man. Lisa is crazy, man. She has some crazy songs. Money and La Lisa are fantastic. Have you had a chance to check those out yet?
I haven't heard that one. I think I heard her do a collab with Taeyang called like Shung.
Oh, okay. Interesting.
Or something like that. That one was crazy. But I'm gonna have to check out the other ones. I'm gonna have to check out what was the name that you said one more time?
Money is one of them, and then the other one is La Lisa.
Okay,
like
she
LA
incorporated
Lisa.
She incorporated her name, and okay,
yeah,
I like the creativity.
I'm telling that La Lisa, the music video that'd be a cool reaction video for you guys on the channel and stuff because like that video. I was just like, what is going on? Like the beats go in a crazy direction, like they always do with Blackpink. And the visuals, they go from like black to pink, right? Like that, it's that same kind of energy where they go from like girly to kind of edgy. And it's like the transitioning is wild, but she is a performer. Like that song and that video is out of control.
For sure. All right, I'm adding that one to the list, man. I'm adding that one to the list. I'm gonna have to shout you out when I check it out too.
Well, Addison, I want to thank you so much for coming on and talking some Blackpink with me, man. And it was a good time. It was a really good time. I really do appreciate coming on. If you could let everybody at home know where they can find you, like on social media, your YouTube channel, everything, and I will be linking it down below as well.
Absolutely. So if you want to find me, you can find me right here on YouTube at the Everyday Negros. I understand, you know, if you feel uncomfortable typing it in, you know, you can turn your brightness down on your screen and type it in that way. But Everyday Negros is where you can find us, man. We're going to have a lot of fun. Everybody's welcome to come tune in with us. So it's your boy Addison, and appreciate you for having me on.
Yeah, no, had a great time. I'd love to have you back on, Addison. It was really cool talking music with you. Everybody at home, comment down below your favorite Blackpink song, your favorite Blackpink member. What are your thoughts on the secret to their success? Check out Addison over there on YouTube. They do phenomenal work. Thank you so much for watching, everybody. And as always, have a wonderful, wonderful day. Bye-bye, everybody.